everyone, welcome back to the Makisode YouTube channel. How are you today? I'm doing good over here and I hope you are too. So today we're going to be demystifying crochet. Yes, that's one of the things we do on here, right? And what we're going to be demystifying is Katy Perry's granny square sequin dress with a pearl white collar, right? Seems like a lot, right? But yeah, it's a very easy dress to work so long as you know how to work the granny square. The traditional granny square, you can imagine that's how easy it is. So before I go on, are you new to our channel? You should totally go subscribe. We bring you brand new videos on a weekly basis. If we're not inspiring you on all of the possibilities of crochet, we are showing you how we made one of our own bespoke pieces, yeah. Or we're doing this, which I'm doing right now, which is to demystify crochet, demystify what one celebrity or another wore. All right, we have our galleries up on Instagram. Do well to visit us. For our wedding apparel, we have those on at Makisode Weddings, and then for our casuals, corporates, accessories, and other things, we have those all up at Makisode Models. So do well to follow, like, leave a nice comment and share our content. All right, so like I said earlier, right, this dress is very easy to work so long as you know how to work the granny square. So essentially, what does this dress look like? There's a shoulder up there, shoulder here as well, right? And then you have that there's the collar. This is what that part would look like eventually. So yeah, it will look like this. That's the collar there, yeah, and then the neck region. Yep, the dress is a long sleeve dress, yeah. So I'm gonna drag this down, go this way, and then yeah, that's it. Essentially it's a short dress actually. So it's a short dress, and yeah, so about that, let's say that's the dress, the sleeves, long sleeves, right? So what did they really do? Granny squares, like I said, loads of granny squares. What you're going to need, loads of granny squares, small granny squares, essentially 3-row granny squares, right? Because there's going to be a pastel, yeah, I'll call it a pastel because that's the unifying color. So after you've done your 3 rows of granny square in different splashes of color, to twist it here and there, you now use the same color to for the 4th row of all of the squares. So let's say you want to use red, for example, to put your squares together. So after you've done your 3 rows of different colors, maybe a white here, a blue here, a green here, you're going to be working your last row in red. Same thing for all the other squares, a black, white, green, and then you work the 4th row in red, blue, purple, white, and then the 4th row in red, like that. That's what you're going to be doing. So those squares are going to be placed, you're going to have to place them evenly, and measurements would really matter at this point. Realize that you have the freedom to use different hook sizes to actually portray the desired width that you want at any point in time, because the width here, this bust area, may not be the same width around the waist area, and it definitely will not be the same width around the hip area, and of course down there. So one hook size could work the squares that are going to be up all the way from there, so square here, square there, like that. So one hook size could work all of the squares that are here. A different hook size could work the squares here, right? Another hook size work the squares here. The squares around the abdomen may use the same hook size as the squares around the bust, depending on how voluptuous this particular individual is. Now the squares around the hip will require a little bit larger hook size. Yep, that's it. Squares around the hip will require a little bit larger hook size. And then if you're walking down, because you can actually work this dress in any length that you want. So if you're walking beneath the you're going to be going like a lot lower all the way to the knee. If you're going to be walking a knee length dress, it means that the length between let's say the thigh region and the knee is going to be walking, you're going to be walking that in a less hook size than what you used for the hip. So let me put numbers to this. So for example, if you had worked the squares up here in 5 millimeter hook, right, size, yeah, around there, around the waist region, you may want to reduce that to 4.5 or a 4 millimeter hook size, right? And then around the just before you get to the hip area, you may want to come back to your size 5 millimeter hook. And then the hips, that can be worked in 5.5 or 6 millimeter hook size, right? And then just below the hip, you return to a 5 mm, and finally end up with a 4.5 if you wish to make it a little bit closer. But if you don't, you stick to your 5 and work all the way down. Now remember, you're still going to have to work these in squares. So here it might take 2 squares to go around this individual's arm, or it might take that's a square on the side and a square on the other side, or it may take up to 3. So you may have a square under here, the armpit area, and then 1 square here, 1 square on the other side. All of that is left to measurements. Measurements are super important for this particular dress. They are super important. So when you're done, placing all your granny squares together, see, I made one as an example. So you walk the first row into a magic circle. I don't know if you the granny square is really easy to walk. I'm going to put a link into where we taught how to make granny squares, in this in the description box, so that you can go check that out. But here, this is a granny square. All right, so the first color into the magic circle, the second color just above that first one, and then the third color here. So that fourth marrying color, call it a marrying color. Who's going to marry all of them together? And they did hers in black. Hers was the unifying color for Katy's dress was black, so you use black to for the last row there. You can join as you go along. You can finish all of your squares and then use a darn needle or darning needle or yarn needle to sew them together, or you walk along. So you finish working the first square, you walk the second square up to this point, and then use the black to join and walk, finish up the second square and then join it onto this first square. There are several ways to do this. So from all of what I'm explaining, if there's any part that's quite unclear, do let us know in the comment section. So let's say all of your squares are done and all of them are now successfully joined together as shown here. The next thing they used were these beautiful sequins. See, those are sequins. Sequins were attached to all of the parts where the granny squares are. All of the parts, meaning the arms, the main dress, all the way around it. That's where they attached these sequins too. Yes, so all up on this granny square would have attached sequins. So let's say you pick a sequin per cluster. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24. So that means that this particular part of the square would carry like 24 24 sequins, because you want it to really shimmer and glitter. All right, so when they were done with all of that, the dress is now ready. What did they do? I didn't mention the person who designed this dress for her. His name, it's amazing, right? He's a guy. His name is Ashish. All right, he's Asian, so you can go look him up if you want. So yeah, now here's the color part. The color wasn't worked in granny square fashion. All right, you can choose a solid stitch, like a single crochet stitch, a half double crochet stitch, or you could go gangster and use maybe a moss stitch, or you could use what do I call this, my very favorite stitch. I have a favorite stitch, I shouldn't be mentioning that, but yeah, any stitch you like you can use for this collar part, right? The collar is done this way, yeah, and so yeah, at this point you notice that it is angular. So the number of stitches you use, first of all, in the very first row, you keep increasing, but you increase them at this end. See, you increase at the beginning of the row and at the end of the row. That is what will give it this pointy part like this. So you increase at the beginning of the row and at the end of the row a stitch on either side. That is how you increase to attain this very beautiful angular looking thing or collar. When they were done with that, what next did they do? Or Ashish decided to pearl the collar up. So all of the collar, all around the collar, he attached pearls. So yeah, you can do that. You can decide to use pearl for the entire dress if you want to, or sequin the entire dress. That's up to you. Or even put flower petals, as in put crochet flowers all up on the entire dress. That's also up to you. But here, what we're doing today is showing you how Ashish made, or showing or demystifying what Katy Perry wore, yeah, to her American Idol yeah, judge seat, so to speak. Yeah, you know, she's been doing that for about 7 years now, right? Yeah, and counting, even though we hear she's about to retire from all of that to face other things. So yeah, that's it. So if you see that picture or saw that picture somewhere, this is exactly how it was made. So you can replicate this and get yours looking all beautiful and stuff. So go have fun, make yours, let us know, you know, if you have questions, and then also show us if you would like. When you're done making it, you can tag us and we'll come take a look, see what you did. So remember to subscribe, and thank you again for watching. Bye for now.